Page 33. Art of Manipulation, by R B Sparkman, 1978. Chapter 3. Tactic 2, How to Make a Slave Out of a Person. 3.5. Intermittent reinforcement applies to your love life. If you survey your past love life a moment, you probably can recall instances where you've been taken in by intermittent reinforcement yourself. Surely at some time in your life, there has been a certain person you just couldn't get over. You felt a magnetic attraction to him or her that bordered on addiction. Sometimes he or she charmed you into walking on air, but at other times you were maddeningly ignored or treated coolly. Possessed, you jumped between the highest highs and the lowest lows, feeling the whole time the awkward sensation of never knowing where you stood. You couldn't shake her, or get off the emotional roller coaster. I'm sure you've endured this kind of tiger's back love affair before. I know several women have affected me this way. These women were practicing intermittent reinforcement on me on purpose or by accident. I was so attracted to them that my human nature bulldozed my common sense. And I did everything in my power to please them. Notice that one did everything in my power to please them. This statement describes what you can siphon out of a person by using intermittent reinforcement the right way. 3.6. Specific tactics in intermittent reinforcement. To apply intermittent reinforcement, you follow two clear-cut steps that take advantage of the fact that human beings want what they can't have. First, you set up a pattern of reinforcement by giving your manipulatee something he wants. Second, withdraw it, and watch the person come under your control as he struggles to have the reinforcement restored. This technique sounds simple. And it is easy to understand, but it's hard to carry out. It's difficult to make it work, because you have to first be able to reinforce the person you want to manipulate. That is, you must provide something he wants. You give this reinforcement by charming the person, paying him money, or furnishing him something else he wants badly. But unless you can give your manipulatee something he really wants, he won't care a whit if you withdraw his reinforcement by acting coolly toward him, refusing to pay him, or whatever. In fact, you probably don't even reinforce most of the people you know, so trying intermittent reinforcement on these persons would be a waste. The people you can manipulate with this technique are therefore limited to those you reinforce. But by concentrating your efforts on these people, you can almost lead them like children. At least 70 to 90% of the time you have to be good to the person you plan to manipulate, and give him something he wants. You may do this by whatever method you choose. In choosing the correct reinforcement, you'll need to figure out what would thrill this person the most. Try to put yourself in his place, and ask yourself what would boost your manipulatee's ego. What does he really like? In a business situation you may select praise, money, or some other reward. Assuming you have completed step 1, you should be giving the subject of your manipulation what he wants. But don't get carried away with the reinforcement. The first thing you know, your manipulatee will take you for granted, and then you won't be able to wrench the time of day out of him. Keep him on his toes. The moment you detect the slightest hint that your pigeon is taking you for granted, withdraw his reinforcement on the spot. When you feel taken for granted, you know that you provided what he wanted too constantly, and that the time has long since passed to withdraw it. Page 35.